Good afternoon, and welcome to another irascible version of Diatribes from the Voice of Doom. Now here's your irritable and irreverent host, Voice of Doom. Hello. Okay, I'm going to do a quick one before I go to work. I was going to do it yesterday when I saw what I saw, which was disgusting. And now it's saturated the whole internet and everywhere else, the media, so I'm just going to kind of do some cleanup or reiteration of what everybody's already heard. What I heard was a disgusting form of life standing at the podium of the U.S. Senate, just railing and ranting incoherently about how unfair it is that information should actually get out to the public that they didn't want to get out. Now, I've always disliked this Schumer guy, never liked him. I'm not going to just jump on the bandwagon with everyone else. I've always disliked the guy. He is a racist. He started his political career in the city offices and council. His basic platform was, let's gentrify the neighborhoods and get rid of the people of color that are living there because they're bringing down the real estate prices. That's how he started his career. He went on from there. He's a disgusting pile of crap. His glasses are at the end of his nose, the end of his beak, and he acts like he's an elder statesman. And I'm really getting sick of these politicians who think that they are just exempt from any criticism or they are shielded. They have immunity from any accusations of wrongdoing just by virtue of the position they've gained. Why didn't Schicklgruber say that? I was a leader of this country. I shouldn't be held responsible. What's his name did it? Saddam Hussein. He said, how dare you arrest me? I'm the leader of Iraq. Well, they hung him very quickly after he was caught. That's justice. Iraq is a much more civilized country than we could ever hope to be. Because when they catch the culprit, they deal with him. Now, let's talk about Upchuck. And that's what he is. He is the human embodiment of vomit. And what I saw at the podium and what I saw during his very short press conference was gaslighting personified, accusing Tucker Carlson of doing what they've been doing for the last 2.5 years or more, actually 6.5 years. Gaslighting, accusing Tucker and Fox News of releasing disinformation about the insurrection and making it look like it was not an insurrection at all. It was just a very large tour group. And it just got out of hand a little bit. Now, a few windows were broken, yes. There was some violence. There was violence in Minneapolis. There was violence in Portland. There was violence in Seattle. There was violence in New York. There was violence in San Francisco. And I'm sure some people who broke windows were harshly punished for their sins. I'm sure they were. Now, the insurrectionists, their habeas corpus has been suspended. Now, you go back in my diatribes, there's more details about that. But the mainstream crapheads on the left who were running this country wanted to make it clear to the rest of the country, do not try this again, or this is what's going to happen to you. You will be put in jail without a trial. You will be not allowed to have a defense, and you will just be kept there indefinitely, such as they would do in communist China or in North Korea or in almost any other totalitarian regime where there was any resistance or disagreement to their narrative. Now, their narrative was handpicked. They handpicked the people on the kangaroo court that they called the Select Committee on January 6th. And believe me, a herd of kangaroos would be much more fair-minded than what we saw during those hearings, which were a joke. They handpicked what they wanted to handpick, and they left out what they wanted to leave out. They did not get certain people that were central, that were germane to the case. They did not put them on the stand because they did not want to hear what they had to say, because they knew what they were going to say. Now, we all know what happened with January 6th. And if anybody should be culpable, it shouldn't be any of those people in that crowd. It should be Pelosi. She should be clamped in irons and dealt with as you would any other insurrectionist that truly wants to overthrow the government and make it into her own image. Everybody knows she caused it. Everybody knows it could have been circumvented. Everybody knows it never had to happen. But she wanted it to happen, and everybody knows it. Now Upchuck gets up on stage and gets all indignant about how dare this information go to Fox News and Tucker, who's a liar, nothing but lies. All Tucker did was show the footage. And people can make of it what you will. Now, the mainstream media, the real idiots, are starting to realize that with this copper Congress in the House of Representatives, the truth is starting to leak out because they're going to let it leak out. And they're realizing that they are caught. They knew they were liars. They knew they were biased. They knew they were partisan. But now they're caught and they're dancing around like crazy, trying to, cover their tracks, cover their asses. One guy says, "You can't tell me that we said anything knowingly that was a lie. You can't say that we said something wrong on our news program that you can prove that we knew it was a lie at the time." So he covers his ass by saying, yeah, we lied, but you can't prove that we knew it was a lie because you weren't in the office when we were doing our little meeting about what we were going to put on the air and deciding, yes, we know it's a lie, but we'll say it anyway. Now, this isn't going to hold much longer. The more stuff comes out, the more people realize who these people are. The people on the left, the partisans, who are on the side of Petri Dish and his ilk, will always bend over backwards and rationalize why things happened the way they did. But the truth will out. And I'm sick of Schumer, and I'm sick of McConnell, and I'm sick of all these long-time white cisgendered males, patriarchal, toxic males, running this stupid country, or what used to be a country. They all ought to be ousted in one fell swoop. Forget elections. Forget that. Ousted. Physically grabbed and thrown out. But that's not going to happen because the left patriots, the wokesters that love what used to be this country so much, will not allow anything like that to happen because their people are in office and they like them there. Gaslighting. Nothing but gaslighting. Schumer's been a gaslighter since day one. And he's a disgusting entity of evil. And he will be punished Maybe not on this mortal coil, but when he goes to the next level, I hope he's skewered. I hope he gets to do just like Jesus did and be punished that way. Because he's saying that we should not have information. We should only have what they give us. They gave us a kangaroo court. They gave us a monkey circus dog and pony show during that hearing, where people who could offer different opinions on the whole matter were not allowed to even be there. So we don't have a country. Anybody that thinks we do are woefully ignorant. We do not have a country. I mean, North Korea is much more fair than we are in this used to be. Much more fair. They just feed people to the dogs. It's very fair. Now, what else can I say about Upchuck? I just didn't like anything he said, and I don't like anything he's saying now. He's saying that the Fox News executive should not allow Tucker to talk about this insurrection, and that Tucker never should have had the information in the first place, and to give it out to the general public is anathema to everything they stand for. We're not smart enough to deal with what we see with our own eyes on the video. And Horns was led around by the guards through all parts of the Capitol so that they could arrest him later. I mean, I don't want to reiterate what Tucker's already said. He'll say it much better than I do. It was, whatever they call it. And they force people to commit a crime so you can arrest them. Now, either these media guys have two choices. They can either admit that they're lying piles of crap, or they can admit that they're idiots. Because whether they knew they were lying or not, they said what they said. They talked about Russian collusion. They talked about insurrection. They talked about Nord Stream being blown up by the Russians. They talked about Petri Dish's no-account son being totally innocent of any wrongdoing, and that was Russian misinformation. And it's all been proven wrong. So they can either admit that they're liars, or they can admit that they're idiots. You got two choices. Admit to one of them. But just keep dancing around. And a lot of these guys aren't going to be around much longer, one way or the other, because there's going to be a purge by the wokesters and the left to get rid of everybody that might change their mind and move to the other side and expose them. It's been happening all over the place with this Epstein BS and the whole Clinton gang, the whole regime that kills anyone that might be in their way. So we're in a bad way here in this what used to be country. I think that between now and May, many shoes are going to drop at the same time. It's going to be an avalanche of shoes dropping on everyone's head, to where we'll be so confused and so panicky that we won't have time to even blame Upchuck and McConnell and Pelosi and Petri Dish and all of those people that should have the full weight of the law dropped on their head, such as what happened to Wile E. Coyote with his 2-ton barbell that he gets. So I'm not saying much. I just wanted to get my 2 cents in about Upchuck. Can't stand him. I would love to see him gone, completely gone, along with his ilk. But I'll leave it there. I might expand more on this later as it occurs to me. But one thing I will say about Tucker, he really shouldn't have gone off on this tangent of conspiracy theories about Kennedy's assassination and with UFOs, because somehow someone set him up to look like a crackpot. So now that he has something really meaty to sink his teeth into, he's already been kind of pigeonholed as a conspiracy theorist. So that was a deep state mistake by everybody who doesn't know anything. I don't care who they are. Executives at Fox, executives at MS, executives at CN. It doesn't matter. They're all idiots. And they all deserve to lose their job, and not just lose their job, but lose everything. Your house is now in the 10th city in Portland, or something like that. That's what needs to happen. But I'll leave it there. It's long and I said nothing, but I wanted to get my 2 cents in about Upchuck because I just say things a certain way. And I'll talk to you later and enjoy the day. Thanks.